Just gonna start.
I'm the boss. Go ahead and introduce everything. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. This is wasting precious time. So, uh, are you actually going to talk in this review?
Yeah, I'm
Are you
going to
going to
talk. I
speak?
just don't
Okay.
want to do the opening.
All right. This is first impression of the anime adaptation of Inuyashiki. Guys, what's up, guys? We're here again with the first impressions. Yeah, I'm here with Zena.
Hello?
Yeah, and we're gonna talk. We watched just watched the first 3 episodes of the anime adaptation of the manga by Hiroya Oku, author of Gantz, called Inuyashiki. It's sort of a sci-fi slice of life kind of thriller, sort of so far, um, about um, about what's it called, a senior citizen, I guess. He's only in his late 50s. I believe he's like 56,
I mean, he
57,
kind
but
of looks senior.
they mentioned he looks, I think, older than he actually is, but he's in his late 50s. He's what is it, octogenarian? Is that the word for it? I
Aqua,
think.
what?
Never mind. But he's an elderly he's an elderly citizen of Japan, and um, basically an event happens, a mysterious event happens to him and a young man at the same time during basically he's a very soft spoken, sort of meek, gentle elderly figure who's leading a normal sort of superhero-ish backstory precursor to them getting their powers sort of life. Like
Mm.
he's really like put upon and he's going through a normal bad sort of unfulfilled day of his life. And an event happens when he finds out he has stomach cancer,
Oh, yeah.
and he basically all of a sudden he goes on a hill and he's depressed about his life and no one cares about him and it's not important. And, he sort of gets bullied and things, and then
And like his family like doesn't love him at all. Like he builds this
I
new
mean
house for
he doesn't feel loved by them. They definitely don't pay
yeah,
attention to him. So
not at
he
all.
yeah, and or they definitely don't show concern for him in any way. And
Especially when he gets cancer, he tries calling like all of his family members, but no one ends up picking up their phone. They're
yeah,
just and he gets home and he tries to tell his wife, but his wife is just like she starts bickering at him and he's just like I'm not going to tell you. It's so sad.
yeah. So basically, like he's sort of an everyday loser, old man sort of guy, and then he just goes up on a hill while he's depressed with his dog he adopted. Sort of like weird extraterrestrial science fiction thing just sort of hits him, and a random boy that he's never seen before on that hill, and then he slowly starts to realize that become a robot. And the most of the series so far, from based on what we've seen, not I haven't read the manga, but I saw a little bit of it, and it's basically he slowly discovers all these superhuman powers he has, and so far he's basically adjusting to that. His new life is that, and his new sort of purpose that he's found through those superpowers, and a lot of and simultaneously there's a young teenage boy who's obsessed with manga who gains the same powers, and he goes in a different direction, whereas like Inuyashiki, what's his name, Ichiro Inuyashiki's name, and the other guy's name is Hiro, Shishigami. And here Hiro, he's sort of he goes he basically just becomes very sociopathic, and he kills people casually, and he realizes he's so powerful that no one can stop him. So he basically does whatever he feels like on a whim, and sort of protects the people around him and does what pleases him, and anything he basically feels like doing, including casually, ritually murdering people every night on the way home from school. He just sort of does it. And
Mm-hmm.
Inuyashiki goes in the opposite direction and starts trying to like use his healing powers to heal cancer patients and like help
And
lost
he saves people
kittens.
from burning buildings
Yeah,
and
he slowly started discovering he can like help people through his power, whereas like the teenage boy realizes he can just do whatever he can use other people's inferiority or weaknesses to like please himself, his superiority over them, I guess,
hmm.
because of the power. And that's basically where the first three episodes are. What did you think overall, Zena?
Well, as
And is there
we
anything
just
in this that I didn't mention that you thought was important about the concept of the series?
actually there was one thing. The thing that relates to the two characters, other than them being robots, is they're trying to feel alive again. Like they both realize that they're
Yeah,
robots, but they both do these actions. Like the
yeah,
young boy,
yeah.
he kills people, while the older man, he tries to save people, and they do this in order to feel alive again, to feel like
Yeah.
humans.
I forgot that yeah, the thing about the series before this Gantz, like it was about these kids in a video game and they had to kill each other. And I saw a little of the manga and a little of the anime and I wasn't that interested in it. It didn't maybe I should go back and watch it now since I enjoyed this, but it wasn't it seemed like it got wrapped up a lot in the weirdness and the concept and just doing quirky things just to do quirky weird things. And it was kind of like Battle Royale with the Hunger Games. Like if you've seen those, it was just
Mm-hmm.
that with more like Japanese weirdness and so I wasn't really interested in it. But like you just said, the fact that they're a robot, they're like this feels like really smart and like mature with like the way it uses like metaphors and social
Yeah.
commentary. Like, did you? Yeah, because like when I was watching it, first of all, the fact that the old man is kind of the kind one, and the young boy, who's usually the main character of a lot of manga, is very he acts the way an all powerful like teenage boy would actually act. Like he's very sort of like he's not evil, but he's very sort of like just selfish and
Mm-hmm.
like kind of like stuff. Like he acts kind of like a brat with the powers. Like he just does what he wants, and he's very self-absorbed, like a teenager would be, and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
nihilistic. Like, oh, I just do what I want. Who cares? Like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like I just care about my friends and doing what I want. And the old man, who's like older, like he's a little more patient and mature, and is thinking about things bigger than himself because he's older. I think. So it felt like there was a little bit of social commentary in the idea of like a young person being kind of evil and the older person being more gentle in the way that
Well,
they're reacting to things. And like you said, the robot thing, that's really important and smart too, I think, because both of these characters, before they got the power, they internally felt like robots. Like the way he was going
yeah.
about his job and the way the guy was just going to school, they were living very normal, mundane like lives and didn't feel fulfilled by them. Like as people, as humans, they just felt like empty on the inside until they got the power.
Well, another thing that you should also pay attention to is the fact that the elderly man, he was, what's his name?
It's
Inuyashiki?
Ichiro Inuyashiki, which is actually
Inuyashiki.
Inu means dog in Japanese.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah. And since he gets the dog, that's how I remember it.
oh. But another thing that we need to focus on is, I mean, Inuyashiki, he was about to die, and then
Yeah.
he was given these powers because he was given 3 months to live because of his stomach cancer. And then with the young boy, he was given these powers and he had so much life to still live. So while Inuyashiki, he took advantage of these powers, like I was given a second chance, like this is a calling from God.
Yeah.
Like I have to use these powers for good. But
Yeah.
with
That's
the
true.
younger boy, it's like I was given like this younger boy, he enjoys like manga, he enjoys fantasy settings, and he saw these powers as an opportunity as like a play toy. Like I can be like Luffy now because I have these superpowers, but
Well, he's not really trying to be like
I mean he's not trying to be a
heroic.
hero.
Yeah.
He's just using this for like fun, for enjoyment.
Yeah. It's kind of like a toy. I think maybe that's true too because like when he got the powers, he's kind of like he's a little bit like he was about to die, so he does feel like a sense of like appreciation for the fact that he's even still alive.
Yeah.
So he's more like kind about the way he's using powers, but the young boy, he was still starting out his life, so he doesn't really appreciate life as
He
much.
doesn't really appreciate
Yeah, he
life.
doesn't
Yeah.
appreciate life, so he doesn't see the problem of killing people. But overall, the series, like because I don't want to get distracted in like all the different analysis of it or the tiny little things in it. But I thought it was really, really, really good for at least the first couple episodes. Like I avoided reading the manga, even though the art looked good and the concept seemed really interesting. But I really thought it was just going to be like a goofy concept because that's what I saw with Gantz, the other series that he wrote. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, he's doing this weird thing to be funny and like have a bunch of over the top action with an old man as a
Yeah,
robot.
no,
Like I
especially with
really
the
thought,
old man.
yeah, I really thought it was going to be this goofy series about an old man being a badass, and that's all. It was going to be really shallow. But the characterization so far from the two the protagonist Inuyashiki and the antagonist Hiro, it was like really really well done in those first two episodes. Like there is some over the top like cool moments, and the science fiction stuff is like done in like this badass almost like parody sort of like this is an anime like we sort of way. But the characters, both characters are really well developed, and I actually like both characters are kind of like compelling and interesting to watch, and like
Mm-hmm.
really, it's like I thought it was really well done. Um, you so yeah, I thought it was really good. I think it's one of the smartest in terms of writing like series I've seen like in a long time. The anime is really well directed so far. After the first episode, the animation dropped. I think a little bit. Like it's not,
Yeah.
but the directing is done really well with like the cuts and like the music cues and the way they handle like the sounds and stuff, where it covers up a lot of the like shortcoming of like the animation, I guess. Because the
Mm-hmm.
manga is really like super detailed consistently, but I think the anime so far is really well directed, where it doesn't hinder the story to the point that like you're like, oh, this is crap. I just need to read the manga only and just ignore this. At least so far. Even though I'm sure the art in the manga is like superior from what I've seen,
Yeah. And
but it's
with like oh sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, with like the animation, it's a mixture of like a 3D and a 2D animation. And I know that there's like a couple animes that like attempt to use a mixture of animation and they don't really successfully pull it off. Um, but like with this, it's like pretty much seamless. Like you can tell when it's like 3D animation compared to
Yeah,
2D animation, but like regardless, it's like the same kind of quality. It looks so good. The only issues that I have is like sometimes the backgrounds, like the 3D backgrounds, are like really like poorly rendered. Like
you think so? It
yeah,
felt like they
because
just took a picture of like something like a city in Japan or something like Tokyo and just put the characters like drawn on top of it or something. A lot.
no, like when they were in Hero's friend's room, like I was paying attention to the background and just a bunch of blobs and yeah,
Yeah.
you could tell it's 3D like 3D rendered, but it was just so vague and but I mean that wasn't an issue because obviously it's just the background, but
So that like you got a problem with that? Yeah, the 3D. I think because they haven't. I didn't think because they haven't gone over the top. They haven't used it too much
yeah, they're paying
to
attention to their
distract me. But
budget.
yeah, I definitely noticed. Yeah, yeah. Like, well, the thing is that 3D I think is cheaper than the like 2D animation.
Yeah.
That's why I use it a lot. They've been using the 3D like really sparingly. Like they're not just it's not just like full scenes in 3D for to save the budget. So like it's much more tolerable. But I think they're handling the budget well basically. And like
Yeah.
certain scenes look good like they're supposed to. Like when Inuyashiki first uses the jetpack and he flies out over the city and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was good. And also the humor in the show, I usually don't like 4 out of 5 times I don't find anime humor very funny.
Oh my
But
God.
the timing of the show was almost like perfect for most of the jokes. Like it was really clever and like all the little like the timing and stuff, like it just felt really maybe it's my sense of humor, but like
Yeah.
I just found it really, like funnier than most anime. Like it was there weren't a lot of jokes where I was like, that's like annoying anime humor or that's like a Japanese thing. Like it felt really well timed and just it it felt smart and it felt like I was watching a show that's not trying to really appeal to like 13-year-olds at all. It's just like this could be like a live action show and there's no like
Mm-hmm.
pandering. There's no pandering to like anime fans too much, except with the manga references a little bit.
Oh
And
yeah.
then, yeah, there's no like, yeah, there's certain types of characters, but there's kind of like just general story types of characters. There's no like, oh, that's an anime character type, or and there's no like, oh, the cute. This is the cute fan service thing. The closest thing it has to a mascot is the dog, which is just like a real dog. They're just cute. It's just a cute dog. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's not a lot of like animeifying, and there's not a lot of like fan servicey stuff, and there's not a lot of like anime humor. It's just like a show, and that's I think why it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it. If this wasn't so obscure and such a weird concept, this is a show that people could just watch on like they don't like anime. I think
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
I agree.
Um,
That I think you're biased though with the jokes somewhat though, with
with
like
the
the
jokes,
One
you didn't
Piece
you didn't, you didn't
jokes,
like you didn't think it was funny. No. It wasn't just the One Piece jokes. I just mean like when
like the
he's talking
jokes.
to his friend and stuff. It's like a deadpan like sort of like more subtle sense of humor where it's like
Yeah.
it just feels like a like I don't know anything I reference is gonna sound like pretentious, so I can't. But it's just it's closer to like the humor you see on like The Office or something, or like the
Oh
British version
yeah,
of The Office.
yeah.
Like it's very like sort of like subtle and like it's not wacky or slapsticky at all. It's like a lot of the humor's in the dialogue and the characters' interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was like saying stuff like there were certain jokes he was like, hey, he was like, oh, I can heal wounds with my robot powers, but I can't heal the wound in your heart. And he was
Yeah.
and when he said stuff like that, I was like, that's so funny. And then he was like, ah, I'm just kidding. Like that was such a funny like line of dialogue. Like a lot of the I usually don't watch anime and think like that dialogue was really funny because maybe because of the cultural differences or maybe because like a lot of Japanese humor is like very like over the top and sort of like for like routine, sort of like ha 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 one liner. Like it's very like circus acty sort of like humor. Like they have like it's very like rigid, formulaic sort of like we have this wacky like they make fun of it in what's that show with the eight brothers.
Osamatsu-san?
Oh, Somatsu-san, yeah. Like a lot of like Japanese stand-up, it's like there's specific gags at a specific time. They
Yeah.
specifically over and over and over like running gags and stuff like that. It's like ba 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 like a lot. It's that sort of rhythm. Yeah, it's that sort of
Oh
rhythm. It's not like more like human with the way they do jokes and stuff like that and
yeah.
more
Mm-hmm.
normal. But this is more like conversational and subtle. And even the characters, like there's certain types of Inuyashiki is a certain type of character that does exist in like anime and stuff. He's just like a nice guy sort of protagonist. But there's enough layers to him where he feels interesting to watch and he feels unique within the series. And I want to talk about what you thought about the characters, both of the characters so far. Because I
What?
so far in episode 3, Inuyashiki and Hero, I wouldn't say is even a villain yet. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he's like a villain yet, even though I don't think you like him. He's not like this like Inuyashiki with the tone right now. It's kind of like it feels very like dark and like kind of ambiguous about like it's more realistic than saying like this is right and wrong. This person's the hero who's gonna do this, and this person's the bad guy who's gonna do this. It's just sort of exploring the characters and how they deal with having this like power.
Mm-hmm.
So in a lot of ways, it's not like the old man who's turning into a robot. It's more like what would these two types of people in real life do if they had superpowers from like a comic book or an anime or a manga? Like what would real people do with those powers basically in these situations? So what do you think of the two characters? What was your reaction? Yeah, I'm talking a lot because like we just watched it, but what did you
Yeah, I
think?
know you're super excited.
What did you? Well, it was really good, and also I like both characters a lot. It caught me by surprise how good it was. I watched most seasons of anime and I'm like, this is shit, or I've seen this a million times. This is some pretty animation, but I really don't care. Or this is like bad animation and the manga was so much better. Or this is kind of pretty good, but I've seen this story a million times, but the characters are kind of okay. Or this character is unique, but the story's boring. Like rarely, since maybe ping pong
Oh
years
no.
ago, have I seen an anime that's this interesting and unique and well written where it's like, oh my god, it transcends anime. It's not an anime anymore. It's just a really good show. This is like just it's just like a show. It's just like Breaking Bad. It's like whatever. It's just a show that happens to be anime. But um what did you think of the two characters? Because really, so far this is I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm not gonna talk anymore. I actually asking you a question.
I
But
know, I
what
know.
so far this is just like a
Right.
character driven story. Like
Yeah.
it's really just like there's no main plot kicking in so far. It's just like exploring these characters in this situation. So I think a lot of the series sort of whether you're going to be enjoying it, whether you're not, you're going to be enjoying the characters. Which I think I guess people are since this is a popular series. But what did you think of the characters? Like, what was your impression of them? And what do you think of how they're developing so far,
Um,
and like their
well,
relationship to each other?
okay, okay,
I just trying to be specific. Go ahead.
okay, okay. Well, hmm. I mean, I really do like Inuyashiki a lot, especially because of the beginning of the series where like right at the very beginning, like the first episode, you see him going through all of these like hardships, like I mentioned before, he built a house for his family and his family see it and they're just like, "Wow, why is the house so small?" And like there's just all of the stuff that happens to him that's just so upsetting. And he gets these powers and like I don't know, like it's like all this bad stuff happened to him and there was like that one W that he got. Like he took all these L's and then like suddenly he got like a W and it's like, "Oh my God, so relieving." But
You root for him basically, like,
yeah,
because
I
go ahead.
yeah, you honestly do. Um so Inuyashiki, he's probably actually one of my favorite characters because he's just such a sweet old man. Like it's just he's so adorable. But um I really do like
How do you think? Because he's only interacted. This isn't really a spoiler, but he hasn't interacted with the antagonist hero, the ironically named obvious. Like, no irony. His name is Hero, and he's killing people casually. Um, like they haven't interacted too much, but the entire opening sequence, which is really cool, is like centered around their like dynamic, like their
yeah.
rivals, this pretty boy, young teenage cool kid, and the old man, and like all these dynamic shots. And a lot of the manga scenes I've seen in posters and covers of Inuyashiki are like him and this like cool looking kid and this old man and robot old man versus robot slick kid and stuff. And it's like, so how do you think the characters are gonna any good like antagonists and protagonists are changed by their interactions to each other? So how do you think they're going when they finally like meet? What relationship they're gonna have in the series and
Um
how that's gonna go?
well, I mean, I definitely do see Hiro manipulating Inuyashiki in some way because I feel like Inuyashiki he's like incapable of really like
He's too
mentally he's not
nice.
strong. Yeah, mentally he's not strong while
Oh, because there's a scene where he sees a cat get run off over the phone. He starts freaking out and holding the cat's body, and
and he
he
starts
just
crying and
yeah, he
like
just like can't handle like that level of brutality and harshness and stuff.
and like another I mean is this a spoiler if you just like it doesn't even like really revolve around the
Just go
story, but
ahead.
like the whole hospital thing, when like he first discovers his cure powers, he goes to the hospital. He doesn't even know these people at all. He's just like, he walks into the hospital and he's just like, cancer patients, like paralysis, like all these patients. I'm gonna help you, and like it's just he's so sweet. And like I feel like if he had interacted with Hero, if anyone's gonna win, I know that at first Hero is gonna win, but. I have a feeling that eventually Inuyashiki is going to end up messing up with his powers because like the whole you have all these powers like but you can still hurt someone with with those powers. Like
Yeah,
he can't do completely good. Because you know, like Marvel superhero movies, like they fight the bad guys and they break down all these buildings and there's all these casualties. I feel like something like that might happen, and
like
then
he's gonna accidentally hurt someone.
yeah, he's gonna accidentally hurt someone, and then he's just gonna like break down and be like, I can't use these powers anymore. So I feel like something like that might happen.
Yeah,
But
there's been I don't know how long the series is gonna be, but yeah, that might happen. It's possible.
mm,
Um,
how do you think they're gonna develop with their
uh,
relationship together?
well, so far, one of the things about this series is like the level of violence and like sort of like nihilism that it handled. Like it did stuff. Like I'm not gonna spoil exactly because there's certain scenes where I was like, they're not gonna do that, and then they did it, and I was like,
Oh
whoa. That's
yeah,
when I was like, this is a good series. I was like, this is a good series, not because how dark it's being, but because it had the guts to like just not hold back with certain things. To just like
yeah,
explore that level of like let's just do it. You wouldn't expect this is a scene that a lot of other people want to do. I'm just gonna go there and just try it and just see how these characters will react to doing this. But like I said, I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be a smart series and not go in the direction of like they're. I know they're gonna fight. They're definitely gonna fight with each other on a line, and they're the only two people who can fight against each other. So if anything, I think it might be Inuyashiki is trying to help people, and instead of like him trying to stop Shiro from killing people, he might Shiro might specifically start killing people to prove like Inuyashiki to make him break down that he can't stop him or something.
mm-hmm,
But I think it's gonna be something deeper than that. I think they're as they're using their powers, like Shiro. And one of the things I wanted to say, why I wanted to get into the characters, um, is because Inuyashiki is a good character. He's nice without being boring and too plain. They do a good job of like showing his family and stuff without making it seem too slow. And they build up your a picture of his life and stuff like that and his family and all that before this crazy stuff starts happening. And they did the same thing with Shiro, which was really good. If he is the villain or if he's just the antagonist, they did a really good job of still showing even after he was like murdering people and being a sociopath that he
yeah,
has like his
because
own family and like morals. Like he has his own belief system very clearly, and they showed it in the flashback where he was just like he has his best friend who he keeps visiting his house every single day, which is a kind thing to do and a considered thing to do because his friend is depressed and just lies at home and doesn't want to go to school because he's getting bullied. And Shiro, in his own way, tries to care for him and keeps visiting him, saying, "Cheer up, man! Like, get out of there." He's like, "I'll kill the guys." He was like, "Did this?" He's like, "I'll beat them up." And Shiro's friend thinks he's joking, but he's like, "Who picked on you?" And he keeps visiting him every day to say that he'll beat up the guys and just to like spend time with him and try and cheer him up because he's his best friend. And he's like, "I care about you." And they show the flashback where when they were kids, he said Hiro is just like he only cares about people that are close to him. Like he's not heartless. He's very he's just more like self-absorbed. Like he's
yeah,
very familiar. Like he's like the mafia. Like he cares about his family and he doesn't care about anyone else. So like if he won't hurt someone who he cares about personally,
mm-hmm,
everybody else is just like a toy. So like they did a good job of showing like that, like his morality, and like he's not just a faceless murderer, and his like his likes and his hobbies, like he really likes One Piece, and he's really passionate about manga, especially One Piece, and he cares about his friends. He actually is like Luffy, which I think is intentional. He is like a shonen man character in that way where he really, really cares about his friends and he wants to protect his friends, but he also doesn't care about just murdering anyone else who isn't his friends. And he just casually does it for fun and he does it like a kid. So like but I think they did a good job of showing that like his whole world, like his relationships, his friends and family, and Inuyashiki's, so that neither one of them is just like a faceless one-dimensional hero or a faceless one-dimensional villain. Like you don't like they're just two sides of the same coin that had the same power that went into completely different spots in life. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think their interaction will be based on um that their age difference and their relationships with the people around them. I think it'll be something like that. Because
Hmm.
Inuyashiki's not close to his family, whereas like apparently Hero is close to his friends and family and actually
Well, I
does
mean,
care
there's
about them.
that scene in the introduction with him and I believe his mother or his sister. It's like the very first like animation in the opening. I think that's like him hugging his mom. So that kind of does show that he probably has like a good
To
relationship with his
Hero?
family. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he also like he calls his mom all the time. He tells his mom where he is. So it's pretty clear
Yeah.
that he does have a good relationship with his family.
Yeah. I think that will be possibly the dynamic between them. The fact that Inuyashiki is doing kind things for people, because I mean,
Strangers.
their morality, that's the conflict in both their morality right now. It's not necessarily that Inuyashiki is good and Hero is necessarily evil. It's more that they view the importance of people's lives completely differently. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like that Machiavellian thing where Hero only cares about the people that are important to him, and Inuyashiki cares about the entire world. Like if anything, he would sacrifice. Like he's running out to save people, and he's not just doing things to immediately help his own family. And I think that's their conflict. Like I think Hero is going to be like, you should just use your powers to take care of the people around you, and you're being an asshole by not just helping your family and friends with your powers. And then Yoshiki's gonna be like, you're being a jerk because you're not helping the world with your powers and putting your family aside. And I think that's gonna be more their conflict. Like, who really is the hero in this situation? Because
Mm-hmm.
I think Yoshiki's family will be like one of his family or something will be sacrificed in order to help other people. I think he'll sacrifice someone close to him, and then Hero will have a problem with it in order to help like innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna conflict with Hero Riley. That's what I'm assuming is gonna happen because that really is like based what those characters are based around. But is there anything else that you thought about this series? Did anything you disliked? What would you what would you say
Um,
about the series? Did you do a good job of getting you interested? Did it surprise you to see an old man? I'm surprised at how well an old man could work as a protagonist a little bit because I really didn't know if that would get old or like if he would feel uncool because it's funny to see an old man, but I was like, how much can you care about this old man? Like, isn't the younger hand isn't the young slick spiky hair guy gonna just like completely outshine him in coolness? But it was it was cleverly handled how they made him so sociopathic. He's gonna be hard for a lot of people. Like the cool looking one's gonna be hard for a lot of people. Like Inuyashi's personality is so sweet. He's a love,
mhm.
I guess. But what did you think about the first episode? As far as are you gonna keep watching it? Um, is there anything that stands out to you about it that's different from anime? Anything that you're worried about? Any flaws that you saw? And that's it. That's it.
Sorry. Um, well, the one thing that I wanted to
What are you laughing at? um,
no,
but no,
no, you're
just
you're
any
done
closing.
talking. You're
I mean,
done
that's pretty much.
talking. Give me at least a minute,
I'm
okay?
waiting for you to tell me what you think.
You
Then go
keep on
ahead.
cutting me off. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So one thing that I wanted to point out um was that with cuz did I say this yet? With how heroes is it Shiro or Hero?
Hero.
Wait, spell it out for me.
Hiro.
Okay, cool. So, did I say this yet? How like
Shishigami.
we got Hero's character development after he got his powers, not before? Did I say that yet?
No.
Okay, well, because with Inuyashiki, we get his character development before
What?
he even with Inuyashiki, we
What?
get his with Inuyashiki. God damn it. Okay, time to get this video demonetized.
Yeah.
Um, but with Inuyashiki, he ends up getting his character development before he gets his powers. So we kind of see what he's like before and after he gets his powers, yet with Hiro, we only see his character development after he gets his powers. So I'm kind of curious, because we only got that small flashback to when
Mhm.
he was like 5 years old or like 10 years old of him saying like, "Oh, my family and my fans are the only people that are important." But like I'm kind of curious if he actually did act like this before he had the powers. Because
Yeah.
his friend is saying like you've changed, like
Yeah.
you like the robot has changed you so much. And I really like I hope that in future episodes they actually end up showing off like or showing
Mhm.
how he acted before so we can be the judge of has he actually changed or has he remained the same.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I saw like really no flaws in this other than like I don't know, like unrendered backgrounds. Everything else it was flawless. It was flawless. The animation was good. It was well managed. Like the character designs, like nothing too special, but they still like the characters do stand out, like the main characters. And
I mean, there aren't a lot of old
yeah,
men
exactly. I
protagonists
was
like
about to say
that.
like you line up a bunch of characters from different like popular animes and I'll be able to
Mhm.
point out Inuyashiki like immediately. But
Yeah, they look like normal. I mean, there's like normal,
yeah, they
just like
look like normal
realistic,
people.
yeah, people. So
Yeah.
they don't have, yeah, they're not like anime over the top designs, but it is. Go,
Hmm?
just finish what you're gonna say.
Oh,
But
you're
yeah,
halfway through a sentence.
I was gonna say, yeah, like the style is more.
Mansplaining?
The style is more meant to be like, I guess, realistic, so he can't do
Yeah.
too much with the designs, I guess. But they're not like super unique designs or anything, but and then they're not boring either because the art style is like detailed enough to
Yeah,
make
the
them
art
look,
style is really, really good.
yeah,
I really like the art style because
yeah,
it's like you're able to like draw like the idealized anime characters,
yeah,
like the really, really pretty ones, and you can also draw the realistic ones.
yeah.
So it's it's a very good art style. Um I like I said, there's really no flaws in this. Like the story is really good, the animation's like amazing, like I love the dog edition. I'm really scared about the dog.
Yeah, that dog is in trouble.
The dog's gonna die.
He's too dark. He's too innocent for like this type of series, this world,
Yeah,
this dark world where people
you just know that this dog's gonna die.
get just murdered in the street just for walking by the wrong person. Like he's
Yeah.
way too cute to use. Actually, I mean the dog's in the intro a lot. I think the dog is gonna be able to stick around. I think his family is more on the chopping block than the dog. I think the dog will
I
just
hope
be like.
so.
I think the dog is probably just the mascot of the series in its own
I
way.
would rather have his family die than the dog, because the dog is the only
Also,
one showing like the dog is literally the only one showing him compassion and the only one who's listening to him. Like
maybe once he meets Hero, Hero will like kind of like care about him in some way.
probably
Maybe
not.
Hero will like him because they're the only two of their kind, you know. So,
I just want
but
Hiro to go into their house when the dog and Inuyashiki aren't there and just have him say bang a couple of times.
yeah,
I wouldn't
I
mind. I
think
wouldn't mind.
yeah, I think Hero won't. I mean, I think the dog won't die. What's the dog's name again? It's
Isn't
like
it?
Haruko or something. Haruna.
I think it's Haruko.
No.
It kind of reminded
Yeah,
me of a Haruka
yeah.
or
But I think
Hinata.
the dog. I think the dog won't die because I think that's part of like the image of Inuyashiki is like an old man and
Yeah.
his dog
Well, I mean, his
wandering this
name
deep
literally is
sad.
Inu,
Yeah,
like dog,
Inuy.
but
Yeah, I think that's part of like his image of like this sad old man, the sad lonely old man who only has his dog. And if
yeah.
the dog dies, it kind of loses that image. It'd be like if Hero stopped reading Shonen Jump. Like that's part of his like image of like a teenage boy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I just pointed that. Yeah, that makes sense.
his image of a teenage boy. Like they're very stereotypical. They're stereotypes in real life of like certain types of people.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I think that dog is sticking around, but his wife and kids and everybody else, like this.
Well,
I want, yeah. The thing you said, yeah, I wonder too. He's taking like he's having growing pains with his robot powers. Um, but Shiro or Hero, he just seems like he's just like so perfect at like using everything. So like, what did he? I wonder like how he learned how to
Oh,
use it so well, like so quickly, because they got their powers at the exact same moment. And then Hero's just like completely comfortable and confident. He knows all his powers and what they can do. And Inuyashiki's still like figuring his body out and stuff.
yeah, no, I mean that also points out like the difference in age
Mm,
because
oh yeah,
Hero, like he like this is like a teenager who's
yeah.
up
His
with the
body works.
times. He
Yeah.
has an iPhone, like probably.
Oh, you think it's because technology? He just knows how to use technology
Yeah,
better.
exactly. Yeah, I feel like because it points out the age because the
Yeah,
younger
that's very
teenager
true.
is able to understand the
Yeah.
technology more, while
Oh
Inuyashiki
man, it's gonna fumble with it.
he has to sing the Astro Boy song in order to
Yeah,
activate the
that's a
jetpack.
spoiler, but it's that was
That
really
was so funny.
yeah. I didn't want to spoil that because that was really funny and surprising. That's how he figured out how to use the jetpack.
Sorry, I'm really bad with
Yeah, spoilers.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is and the thing is, I really like this kind of story. So I really enjoyed it. I hope it doesn't go in a bad direction like most anime do. Like this could be a 9 or even a 10 out of 10 series. If it, I mean, the animation is already getting shaky, so maybe not a 10, but it could be a strong 9.5 because it's using all the like science fiction, cool looking, slick stuff in a very clever way to make just a bunch of social commentary and explore the characters' psyches more than just like mindless shallow flash or just to do certain things. And the characters are interesting and they have like some interesting moral dilemmas and conflicts set up. So it could really be really smart and explore those things really well. Or it could just end, I want to rule this world. I will stop you from hurting people and just be like a normal anime sort of fight back and forth between them
Mm-hmm.
over one trying to rule the world through darkness and one saying you shouldn't hurt people and like
I can be your
that sort
angel
of thing.
or your demon.
Yeah, your angel or your devil.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, their concept is really interesting. It's kind of like a much smarter version of Death Note a little bit. Like it's really Death Note with better. I mean, Death Note's not trash or anything, but it's handling this like these two characters have become all powerful. Like they're the most powerful two living creatures on the planet. And what would these two people do with that power, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Like so, and they're exploring it really well so far. And I want to say this before we end this, since you said out loud that you dislike Hero, why do you dislike Hero? Because I love that character right now.
Wait, did I
Like
say
he's
that?
yeah, you were like, oh, I hate him. He's so mean.
Because he's
Like I
mean.
really like. Oh my god, he's so good. He's so cool. When he
I mean,
started murdering
for
people,
me to explain why I don't
oh
like him would
you have
require
to
me
spoil
to
it.
bring out more spoilers.
No, but I mean in general. I mean just because he does one thing that makes you dislike him.
I mean, he does this thing multiple
Yeah,
times.
yeah, but the thing is, the impression I'm getting from him is like a Kira Yoshikage from JoJo's impression, because you
Oh,
see so much of his personality quirks that it just comes across charming to me. Like no matter what a certain character does, if you see that like all their little hobbies and their little funny personality like traits, like he's like giggling, he's like, "Oh, you like manga too?" Like, oh my god, which one do you like? When you see that stuff, it just makes his character like interesting and charming enough, and the fact that he's doing all these sociopathic things makes it even more interesting because he's being cute and like innocent while he's doing it. Like when he was choosing random houses to kill people, he's like doing like eeny meeny miny mo and like spinning in circles with his eye with his eyes and just like you today, and he's like oh you and stuff like that, and he's like playing around, and that the fact that he's so disconnected from what he's doing, it just I don't know. I guess certain people have to like find so I guess certain people find sociopathic like characters like that interesting, and not everyone does. And some people are just like, no, this guy's crazy, horrible. Like he's really interesting to me right now. But and the fact that the series plays off of like he looks like the main character of a manga. Like he looks like
mm-hmm.
that this pretty boy, young, cool, slick character, and Inuyashiki looks like a background character, and it's the reverse where he's the antagonist and Inuyashiki is the protagonist. It's very interesting, and he's playing. He's subverting genres of really well with the series so far. If this is how the manga is, and he's making social commentary and he's exploring and creating two really interesting characters all at the same time. So it's really, really good. I regret not checking out the manga all those times when I saw it and people mentioning it. And as soon as I was like, ugh, I was like, it's probably just I thought it was like One Punch Man with an old man. When I first saw it, I just thought it was like goofy. And it was like, old man's a robot. Oh, he has a laser arm. It's an
Oh
old
my
man. So
god.
I literally thought it was exactly like One Punch Man, just an old guy. Which I mean,
Hmm.
One Punch Man is entertaining in its own way, but this is so this is very very unique and clever, especially for a manga. Because those so many series use just like the same repetitive tropes and gags and characters, and they explore a lot of the same themes and stuff. And this is getting close to like that novelistic, like really poon poon level, interesting, complicated stuff. And it's also has the potential to have all these like cool robot fights and stuff like that, which Poon Poon doesn't. So this is potentially anime elite. Potentially 3 episodes in. I haven't seen the thing is I haven't seen an anime that I was like super excited to watch in so long. So like I'm really excited about this series now. I hung up my anime fan hat and then I dusted it off casually because there was an old man who was a robot and that sounded
Oh
kind
my
of
god.
interesting. And now first 3 episodes is so good. I feel like it's gonna turn shitty in the next 5 episodes.
Yeah, same.
I really feel like I was like it cannot stay this good. Oh my god! But it's only 10
Yeah.
volumes of manga, so maybe they're gonna tell the whole story in the anime. Maybe it will be good. It already ended. I was wrong. It's not going
Oh, it
to.
already ended?
It ended this year. It ended this year.
Wait, and it's only 10 volumes?
Yeah, it's only 10 volumes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's a short length. They could do the whole story.
Yeah, they really
Um,
could.
yeah, if they do like 50 episodes or even like 26, they could maybe do the whole story.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really excited about it though, and that's why I'm gonna rate this awesome tank. No, what'd you rate it? How does it compare to the anime? Are you interested in this? Because you like anime, so you're as
Anime,
excited about this as
anime?
I. Yeah, like start out online.
Oh my God.
You like
Sword Art Online. I
fairy
love Sword
tale,
Art Online.
fairy tale, and
I'm
you
gonna
know.
jump out this window.
No, but you don't mind like really super anime, right? Like,
I mean, I don't mind, but I don't really
hmm.
know how. I mean, you're comparing that to anime that I don't like.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't like Sword Art Online. I don't like Fairy Tail.
Do you like what I'm asking in closing is like, do you think this series has appeal to anime fans, or do you think it's going to be something that they really don't connect with?
Well,
Because a lot of people watch anime for all the super anime shit, all the super weeb shit, all the cutesy moe dancing, schoolgirl doing dragon kicks, and like dudes making out with each other. And this is a lot more like with the characters, and it's a lot more unique with the way it's telling the story. There's not
mm-hmm.
chibi, they're not doing sweat drops awkwardly, like there's literally none of that. There's not a single joke or like gag so far that's like I've seen in like other anime series. Like it doesn't have that shorthand that a lot of anime and manga have.
Yeah.
So the only anime things are the fact that it's an anime and it's or the fact that it's animated in Japan is referencing a lot of that like stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, One Piece, Astro Boy, blah blah blah. Do you read
Yeah,
Shonen?
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I was
Other
thinking,
than that,
like,
there's not a lot of. Like, this could be a movie. This could be a live action American movie.
yeah. No, I
That's what
definitely
I'm thinking. Yeah.
agree.
So I
But
mean, if this series was bigger, I could definitely see them watch. This could be made into a movie much easier than Bleach or Death Note. or anything like that. Like this could translate into an American movie very easily. Um, but so you don't think that? So do you think this will appeal to anime fans?
Um, well, I do think so because like you said, there's a lot of like the references to
Yeah,
so I think yes. Um, Also, I have seen like big anime fans who watch this a lot and who really do like it.
okay.
It's like it's funny. It's like it also has a serious aspect to it. I mean, there's robots. Like it's
Yeah,
like
but it
there's
doesn't
so
have that like.
much.
It doesn't have a lot of like things that like some people watch anime because of the goofy sweat drops and the cutesiness and I will protect all my friends with my strength charge, like all that stuff. Like some people watch it for that. It's like this is not that. Like this is not really that at all. This is just a science fiction story.
Yeah.
So maybe not. I guess you can't really tell, but and I also might be saying like, is this too mature for most anime fans to appreciate?
Mm.
Maybe I was trying to say that in a non pretentious, annoying sounding way. Like, do you think this is like if you like fairy tale, are you gonna be up for this? No matter how good it is, are you gonna be like, if you just only watch One Piece, only read One Piece and Astro Boy and stuff like that, are you gonna be down for this? I don't
Mm.
know. Only time will tell. But but I thought it was really good. I like both the characters, which is exciting because usually people are like Team L or Team Light and they hate the other one or whatever. But this is really interesting. Please, God, do not let dragged out until like episode 20 or something. Like the finale. Like I don't want to see these two characters constantly living their lives separate from each other. I really want to see that clash of ideals. But yeah, this is a smart story. It explores good themes. Very literary and cinematic in its approach to the story, not anime-ish. And yeah, I think it's great so far. Crossing my fingers. Um, 10 out of 10 so far for me.
10 out
Um,
of 10 for me too.
recommended, very recommended. I wish all the episodes. This is the second best anime since to come out
Ping
this
pong.
year. No, to come out this year after Neo Lokio or whatever with Jaden Smith,
Oh
which
my
is
God.
obviously by default the greatest anime of all time.
Oh my God.
Okay. Like, comment, subscribe. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God.
You want Szechuan sauce?
Pickle Rick.